Okay, all right, welcome to our pre-arrival webinar. Thanks for joining us. Like I said, this will be recorded, so we will be adding it to the Facebook group for your review and for anyone who has missed the webinar. So welcome. So my name is Cassidy. I'm the programs manager for Thailand. You will meet various other staff members here when you arrive in Thailand, but we're all very excited to meet you in a couple of weeks. So just as a first off reminder for everyone, those of you doing the TESOL course or the placement program, you will need to remember to bring certain documents with you. This is just a reminder, but it's very, very important that you remember to bring all these documents. So you'll need to bring, first off, your copy of your passport or your original passport. Obviously, that's a big one. You'll need to bring your insurance documents that you've purchased for your time in Thailand. If you have not yet sent your insurance documents to us, please do so as soon as possible. We need this before you arrive in Thailand. Very, very important. We will also need a copy of your criminal background check, CBC for short. If you have not yet submitted this to us, we need this as soon as possible. We need a copy of a recently completed background check on file before you come to Thailand. We'll need your photo, resume, and video for your teacher profile documents. If you have not yet submitted those to us, please do so immediately. Those are the documents that are used to help find job placements for you. So, we are starting to look even before you arrive. So if you haven't already submitted those things, please do so immediately. We'll also need a copy of your degree or your highest educational certificate, and your original degree you should bring with you. You should also be in the process of legalizing your degree or have already finished legalizing your degree. Remember, that is very, very important. If you are going to be teaching in Thailand, you need to have a legalized degree. If you are coming over, there are a couple people coming over on a non-immigrant O visa. If you are doing the TESOL or placement only program, and you are coming over on a non-immigrant O visa, you do not need to legalize your degree. Those who are coming over on a tourist visa, you do need to legalize your degree. So again, bear in mind, if you're coming on that specific visa and you're coming on the TESOL or placement program, you need to have a legalized degree in hand before you arrive. Very important. If you feel like you are not going to have your legalized degree before you arrive, please let us know ASAP and we can walk you through the next steps. We'll also need a copy of your transcripts for your bachelor's degree. If you have a bachelor's degree, we'll need a copy of your COVID-19 vaccine card or records to show that you are fully vaccinated. We'll need a copy of your visa. Hopefully you have your visa in hand. If you have not yet applied for your visa, please let us know. If you have not yet received your visa, please let us know. We want to make sure that everyone has the correct visa in hand before you come. So please, please, please let us know if you're having trouble with your visa for any reason. Very important. We'll also need your flight details to come to Thailand, arriving in Bangkok, because we need these details to arrange your airport pickup. Again, if you haven't yet sent your flight details to us, please do so immediately so that we can arrange your airport pickup. We can't arrange it without those flight details and knowing when you're going to arrive. So please send it to us ASAP. And those of you, some people choose to stay at a different accommodation in Bangkok. That's totally fine. Just let us know if you are going to do so. Majority of you will be staying at Forum Park when you arrive. Again, with the airport pickup, we'll pick you up. We'll bring you to the Forum Park Hotel, and you'll be able to check into the room that we have arranged for you. So again, that's why the flight details are very, very important. And as a very, very last reminder, please remember to bring your original documents with you to Thailand. So your original passport, obviously, your original bachelor's degree, your original transcripts, vaccine card, and police background check. All very important. You bring the original documents with you to Thailand. We do have a camp counselor in this program, in this intake. So for camp counselors, just remember you need to bring your passport, your insurance documents, your background check, photo resume as well, your vaccine card, your non-O visa, your flight details, etc. And you'll need to bring the original background check with you to Thailand. Your educational certificates are optional to bring with you. Now, very important, when you arrive to Thailand, you'll be given a TM6 card. It's a white card that looks like this here at the bottom. It's kind of like this length, and you'll fill your information in and you'll hand it to your immigration officer when you arrive at the Bangkok airport. when you go through immigration, you'll hand this filled out to the officer. So remember to fill it out. Bring a pen with you on your flight over. That's what I recommend. The pens often are missing at the airport or not working. So I recommend bringing a pen with you to be able to fill this out on the flight, even before you arrive in the airport. Anyway, so you'll fill out this information, you'll hand it to the immigration officer, and they'll tear a part of it off and give it back to you in your passport and stamp you through. This little part is the part you can see down here. The front side is the part where it says TM6 and it has information written on it. And then on the back is the red stamp. So when you are given this, do not lose it. It's important for immigration purposes. It's important for visa purposes. Keep it in your passport. My recommendation is, if you can do so, if you can find a stapler, staple it into your passport, just one single page. Staple it on the page where your Thai visa stamp is. That way you can't lose it. So, and that's totally fine to staple it in. I do it all the time. Many other people do it all the time. And it allows you not to lose your TM6 card. So remember, please do not lose this. You will need it. We will need to see a copy of it as well when you arrive in Hua Hin. Please inform your bank in your home country that you are leaving the country. Okay. Some banks will, if you use your card abroad, will think it's fraud or someone else is using your card, and they will cancel the card or freeze it or whatever. So as a reminder, just remind your bank that you're going to be traveling so that they have it on records and they know it's you using your card or your account abroad. Those of you coming into Thailand on a tourist visa, please remember you need to bring $700 or an equivalent currency in $700. So you could bring pounds or Canadian dollars or euros or something like that. South African rand is often not accepted. It's not considered a major currency. So make sure it's dollars, pounds, euros, etc. But you need to bring an equivalent of about $700 with you in cash, preferably. Pre-COVID, immigration was very strict. They wanted to see this in cash. These days, it does seem that they're okay looking at a bank statement. If you want to be on the safe side, bring cash. If you have a bank statement, but you have access to be able to draw $700 out of an ATM, that should be okay too. Just be aware that they have every right to ask to see this information. They're not doing it so often these days, as I think they're just excited to have tourism back. So they're not really looking at this anymore. But please, please, please remember that it is a requirement, and immigration has the right to turn you away from entering the country if you do not have this when they ask for it. When you bring currency or dollars into Thailand, when you go to exchange it, the exchange places will look to see that the dollars are new or as new as possible. So no rips, no tears, no marks on the dollars or euros or pounds or whatever it is. So when you bring money over, if you are going to do that and you want to exchange money when you're here, just remember to try and bring as nice of notes as possible so that you can have them exchange. If it's ripped, teared, marked in any way, exchange places will often just give it back to you and they won't exchange it for you. So just be aware of that. Again, South African rands not accepted. So if you are from South Africa, please change money into dollars, euros, or pounds before you come over, as those are the major currencies accepted here. And when you go to exchange money, there's a place called Super Rich in Bangkok, and they have really good exchange rates. So you could go and exchange your money there if you'd like, or if you want to wait to Hua Hin, there's a couple places in Hua Hin that we can recommend where you exchange your money. But remember, you need to bring your passport with you when you exchange money. They want a copy of your passport when you do this process. Another reminder, what to pack. Please remember, as a teacher, you do need to dress certain ways when you are teaching. So just a reminder, female teachers are usually asked to wear business attire, and that can be long skirts or dresses. So for women, the skirts or dresses should be no shorter than to your knees when standing. They can absolutely, your skirts and dresses can be absolutely longer, no problems there, but nothing shorter than that. And then a nice blouse or button-down shirt or something like that. It definitely needs to cover your shoulders and have a high collar to it, just like in the picture, and then closed-toed shoes as well. For men, as also business attire, so long pants, a long sleeve shirt is usually recommended. If you have a polo shirt or a short sleeve kind of collared shirt, that should be fine. Definitely wear a tie for your first couple of days of school. That's really a nice touch, and closed-toed shoes as well. Preferably, nice dress shoes. Sneakers generally are not considered teacher attire. Okay. So just like the picture shows you, this is exactly what we want to see you guys wear when you're doing your English camps, if you're doing the test course, and then doing and when you're at placement. So do be aware to bring this kind of dress with you. And that is all of our recommendations and reminders before you come over to Thailand. Does anyone have any questions for me, for the group, before we are done for today?
Yeah, I have a quick question.
Sure.
What do you recommend bringing? Like, what type of currency do you think we should convert some of our money already into baht when we come, or do you think we should just wait to Bangkok to convert
Great
it?
question. It kind of really depends on how you would like to do. So if you know that your bank is going to be okay with you pulling money out of an ATM here in Thailand, I recommend just pulling money out of an ATM. You'll be charged, obviously, whatever the ATM charges for a foreign transaction and whatever your bank charges for a foreign transaction. But you can withdraw a lot of money over here. You can withdraw 10,000, maybe 15,000 baht in one go. So that's about 300 to maybe 450 US dollars in one withdrawal fee. Versus if you exchange money, then sometimes you pay a high rate of exchange. So it kind of depends on what you would prefer to do, how much money you prefer, or feel comfortable bringing over, that sort of thing. When I travel personally, I usually just withdraw using my ATM card, and I just withdraw kind of a lot of money at once. And then I, keep it in my suitcase or whatever, split it up. But it's really up to you and what you feel most comfortable with. You're going to lose a little bit of money no matter what you do, unfortunately, in an exchange or withdrawal. But it's really up to you what you feel most comfortable with. My big recommendation, though, is if you've never traveled to Thailand with like one of your cards and you don't know if your bank is going to be okay with you withdrawing money, is do bring, I would say, no more than maybe $300 or in US dollars or a different type of currency, so that you have some cash on you to be able to exchange and then get everything sorted with your bank and then be able to withdraw money. So totally up to you what you feel comfortable with. It's a personal choice on that matter. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
No worries.
I have another question, but it's a little specific to my case. So where I live, I did a criminal background check and they're sending it via email right now because of COVID. So I don't have an original copy besides the original electronic copy.
Yeah.
Would that still be okay? Like, or should I get that? Should I print it out myself and then bring that?
That should be fine. Definitely print it out and bring it with you, but an electronic copy should be okay.
Okay. Thank you.
No worries. Anybody else have any other questions that we can help with?
I had a question too.
Sure.
So, because if I know we want to go like probably traveling on the weekends, but if we wanted to go to nearby countries like Cambodia or Laos, does that also have a long visa process? Are we able to go over with just our passport or?
So Cambodia, you do have to apply for a visa before you go over. You can't just receive on arrival at this time, or maybe you can actually. Things are changing so rapidly these days. So I don't want to answer that one because I'm not entirely sure, but Cambodia, Laos, same thing. They've just recently opened, so their process might be a little bit in flux. But my biggest thing for you is that you must be careful with your visa, your Thai visa, when you go traveling. So I'm not sure what type of visa you're coming over on, a tourist or a non-O, but both of these visas are single entry only. So if you leave Thailand, your visa is done.
Okay.
You have to reapply for a new visa in the country that you go to come back. And so if you go for a weekend, embassies are closed on weekends. So you would have to wait until Monday to get to go apply for a visa, wait until the next day to pick it up and go. So you would miss the course or teaching or whatever. So you must just be careful. The visas you're entering on are single entry only. We do not recommend that you travel to other countries during your time with us, and that you wait until you can get a longer term visa with your school. Okay.
Yeah, this wouldn't be until like April or something of next year, like after we've already been here for a while.
Okay.
I just wasn't sure if it was as long of a process as it was here.
Okay.
We have the whole month of April off.
Yes.
So I was like, I want to travel to different countries, but I don't know how long it takes to apply.
Totally. Okay. In that case, Well, you'll have to wait and see what's going on in April, number one,
Right,
with
that's
the,
true.
with the countries. But I don't believe either or many other countries around the Thailand at this time, their visa processes are very difficult. Maybe a couple of days maximum to get visas. But yeah, you'll just have to be aware of your personal visa and work permit status when you want to travel around. There's absolutely possible to get what's called a re-entry permit once you get a work permit, allowing like your visa to kind of freeze when you travel abroad and then start up again when you come back. But it's something that you have to apply for once you are going to be going to travel and your with your current visa or with your visa at that time. So just something to think about. Absolutely travel though. It's an amazing time for you to be able to do so.
Yes. And I know, we're gonna, once this is over, I'm probably gonna have to start job hunting while I'm still in Thailand. Are we able, like after our contract is up, are we able to stay in Thailand as tourists for a little while we're job hunting, or do we have to exit the country like right when our contract is over?
It's a great question, and it really depends on your school. So, so if you are put on a work permit, your work permit is issued really until the end of your contract, whatever your contract is with your school. So if you know you're going to want to stay and travel a little bit after your contract is over, what you're going to have to do is talk to your school and say, hey, I want to travel for 2 to 3 weeks or whatever around Thailand. Is it okay if you allow my visa to go a little bit longer, even though I'm going to be finished working? Some schools are fine with that. And they will allow the visa to continue, and you give them a specific date that you're leaving Thailand and they will cancel the visa on that date. Some schools, on the other hand, don't want to take that risk. They don't want to deal with it. So they will say, no, sorry. And they will cancel the visa on your last day of work or the day after or something like that. Meaning you would then have to leave Thailand, go to a different country and then come back in on just a normal tourist visa, for example. So there's flexibility with either option, but it's something you need to discuss with your school beforehand if that's what you would like to do, travel around Thailand after you're done teaching. Or again, you could just exit and come back in on a tourist visa.
Okay. And during our training, like I know we should wear longer pants and shirts. Does it have to be like the business professional, or is like long pants and a t-shirt that covers your shoulders fine? Or what do you guys prefer for the 4 weeks of?
Oh, for
training?
us? Oh, we're very
Yeah.
casual. I wear jeans to work every day. So definitely still dress conservatively. Thai culture is very conservative in comparison to, I'm from the States, so compared to the States, for example. So we ask that, no shorts, generally things to the knee, skirts or pants or whatever, that's totally fine. It doesn't have to be business casual though when you're with us.
Okay.
T-shirts are totally fine, or long flowy pants or elephant pants, whatever, that kind of thing is totally okay. It's just when you're teaching, you need to be dressed professionally.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
I think that was it for me anyways.
Anybody else have any questions?
Yes, I have another question.
Sure.
What is the school year like in terms? Like, does the term start in September and then end in March? Like, how does that work?
Sure. So there are 2 semesters in the school year. We're currently in the first semester, which began early May of this year. And then it will go until the end of September this year. There's a break in October. And then the second semester will begin early November and will go until the end of March 2023. And then there's a summer holiday in April traditionally. So those are the terms for school, how long they generally last 4 to 5 months. Now with the breaks, October and April, some schools will have off completely where teachers do not teach at all during these months. Some schools will have a week or 2 weeks of school. So if anyone is planning on committing to the end of this semester and the entire next semester, and we'll have October as kind of a free time, just be aware, don't book anything. Don't book any trips or holiday or flights or anything to travel around, just because you don't know yet what your school's situation is. You may have the entire month of October off. You may have only 2 weeks off. It kind of depends on the school, which we can absolutely let you know what the situation is once we know where you're going to be placed. So just a reminder on that one. But there are 2 school terms in Thailand.
Oh, okay. And so as we're coming over in July, we're going to be placed in a school for the end of one semester, you were saying? Or
Mhm.
do we start at the end of October? I'm a bit confused on the
No, that's
timeline.
fine. You will
Yeah.
begin immediately. So you'll do,
Okay.
again, I'm not sure your specific program, but you will do your
Yeah.
program and then you'll be placed and then you'll start work immediately and you'll teach until the end of September of this semester.
Okay.
And then depending on your situation, if you're doing until the end of the semester, you're doing it until the end of the semester. If you're doing the next semester, then you'll still be at the same school for the full next semester and you'll have that
Okay.
October month off. Again, it's up to up to what you signed up for. I'm not entirely sure individuals
Yeah.
program, but yeah, and we can talk about it much more in depth as well when you are here in person, the exact dates and stuff like that,
Great. Thank you so much.
Of course. Any
It
other
just helps to
questions?
get like a general timeline.
Totally, absolutely. No worries there. Anybody else? Any questions that I can help with?
And I did, oh, that was the other thing is
Yeah.
I found in some places it mentions you're only supposed to have 30 days worth of medication with you or something. Is that correct? Or
Mhm.
what do we do?
Mhm.
Because like, I'm not sure. They let me know that one of my medications is easily available, but I haven't heard back yet on the other two. And so I'm
Okay.
gonna have to find like a prescription or something. Like, I'm not really sure.
Sure. So
what to
any sort
do.
of over-the-counter medication you can get home is probably fine to bring over here, or you can easily find it over here. You can find a lot of things over the counter here. Antibiotics are very readily available and things like that over the counter. You don't need to go to a doctor for some medication. So it kind of depends on your personal medication. If it's something that you need a prescription for in your home country, probably you need a prescription for here. So what is recommended is you get your doctor to write you a prescription. You're really not supposed to bring in more than 30 days worth of a supply of any sort of medication. So make sure that it is 30 days. As long as you have a prescription with it, it should be fine. If you want to bring a little bit more in, again, it's kind of up to you, but we don't recommend that you bring in more than 30 days. And then you can just hopefully be able to find the same medication or a very similar medication. Many things are available over here that you can get over the counter that you can't get over the counter in home countries like the United States, for example. So if you send us a copy of, or like the name of the medications, we can also help you to look to see if it's readily available over the counter. We can try and find that out for you if you need.
Sure, because they said they were looking into it. So I just sent another email today just asking if you have any updates. So it should appear in your
great
inbox for me.
Okay.
Yes, because my doctor, I did already have her write me a prescription thing for the medications. So I should be able to print that off and bring that in.
Okay, perfect.
I just want to make sure I can get it somewhere.
No problem.
So she's like, oh, I can give you 90 days. And I was like, but I just read I can only take 30. So that means I have to find stuff faster.
Well, I think I think it also does depend on the type of medication. So for example, birth control, you can generally bring in more, you know what I mean? If it's that, or, but other types of medication it's kind of sensitive. So you can't, it kind of depends. So yeah.
Okay.
Let me look for that email or I'll ask around and we can get that information.
Yeah. Just let me know for those specific ones. Cause I do have 90 days. So yeah. So just let me, I sent the prescription names. You guys can let me know.
Cool. No worries.
Thank you so very much.
Absolutely. Cool. Any other questions? No? Okay, no worries. As always, if you need anything, you have many of our emails, so shoot anyone an email. We'll get back to you as soon as possible, but we're very much looking forward to meeting you in a couple of weeks. So we all hope you have a safe flight over, everyone, and we'll chat soon, okay? Thanks, guys. Bye.